I'm spending my whole weekend in my pajamas. The whole thing for me is I'm trying to save you time, money, and energy. I have got a PhD in life. So, like, what do I care what some random person on the internet thinks of me? In new year, new me, you gotta have some fun. God, Tim, everything you touch just, like, is amazing. And I want to tell that person, no, it's not. I'm only trying to make one person happy, and that's Tim Castleman. What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours. I was feeling low. Things were going slow. And I thought the end was near. And it still may be, but holy shit, what a difference 24, 48, 72, I don't know. What a difference a week makes. How about that? How about that? Last time I recorded a podcast, super sad, Tim. Things ain't going well, Tim. Things are sad, Tim. Got my team worried about me. Got my friends worried about me. Talking about, like, Tim, what you're talking about sounds really dark. And it's like, yeah, I know. And they're like, why is that? I'm like, because things have been really dark. And they're like, oh, well, you can talk to me about that, right? And I'm like, I hear you. I love you. I appreciate you. But you're married, you got kids, you got your own relationship, money, financial, relationship drama. You don't need me, right? You don't need me burdening you with my issues. Now, I know I got friends that are family now, right? We've been friends, family, 20 years. One buddy been through 2 wives with me. Like, he's my longest relationship, and we're just bros. Long ribs for Jesus. Tom Likas. Look him up. Horrible human being. There was a time in the world 20 years ago, 15 years ago, where I was like, that guy's the coolest, Tom Likas, right? $40. I'm not going to spend more than $40 on a meal. She don't put out after 3 dates. We're done. And then what I decided, I was like, that's not right, Tom. I'm just going to copy all of that. What was I saying? Before I got off on the Tom Likas rant? Look, Papa been eating good. Not really. It's all processed food. Papa been eating healthy. Not really. Processed food. These shoulders, they're wide. Whoever's going to sit next to me in the airport in the upcoming day or two, they're going to find out. These are wide shoulders. I take 100% of that space. I do the man spreading, not because I want to, but because I'm trying not to squish my balls between my front mussy. You know what I'm saying? Right? I don't want my gut crushing down on my unit, popping my balls out. That's how you get hemorrhoids, and those are uncomfortable and painful and not fun. So these shoulders are wide. And they're wide for a reason, to carry the load. All right. Clip that, put it on a gay porn. Carry the load. I'm starting to think maybe we're not going to get sponsors for this podcast, just based on the previous, 2 minutes. So, things have been real shitty like. Last podcast I recorded, I don't even know if it got out into the world, but let's just say it was real sad. I was like, well, it ain't going so well. Life ain't going so well. I ain't doing so good, dog. And as a result of that, right? I don't know. Things have been just real shitty. I feel like I'm fucking rambling. It's definitely not the weed, Tim. Nope, the weed definitely helps. You won't get any notes back from your team being like, so, Tim, if we could just make a list of the things you want to cover during the podcast, because you seem to ramble a little bit. And sure, it's your podcast. We're belly up to the bar. We're having a drink with you. But if you could not be so rambly-dambly, that'd be great. A couple suggestions before we get into it. I just found this guy. I think my buddy Chase turned me onto this dude. Nolan Taylor. Song 68. Nolan Taylor, not Noah. Nolan Taylor, 68. If you don't have a good relationship with your family, and I have a good relationship with mine, okay? I'm just saying. If you want a sad song that's going to make you in your feels and make you be like, what the? Definitely a guy that I would check out. If you're having a good day, I would recommend that you not listen to him. But if you're having a sad day and you're like, I want to really feel all my feels and emotions, I would say put 68 on repeat. Pour yourself a drink because you deserve it, girl, right? Throw on some Love is Blind, which I've been hate watching with my girlfriend. right? On season 1, because we're idiots, we watched season 4, then we went back to season 1. We're studying this as if we are archaeologists. That's the word, right? Archaeologist. There we go. We're literally breaking this down, okay? Now, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to say it this way, okay? When I was a young man, I grew up in Spring Valley, California. The only thing I remember about Spring Valley, California is it was gang infested when I lived there, and I haven't lived in California nor San Diego in over 20 years, right? 25 years to be exact. With my first wife, second wife, you know, they blend together. Bad decisions blend together with time, right? Second wife, I remember we were in Ruidoso. I turned on the news, and it was like world's wildest police chases. I was like, fuck yeah, I love these shows. And they're like, Spring Valley, California. I'm like, oh shit, that's where I used to live. Like Mount Migo High School. I'm like, fuck, that's my old high school. So I had to get my wife out of the shower, right? She's coming out sopping hair. Wow, what's so important? What's so important? As I show them tasing a dude in like my third period English class. I'm like, do you see where they shot him right there? Yeah, that's third period English. But you see where the body falls? Yeah, that's where Spanish was, right? Although I didn't take Spanish, I took French because my parents thought, you know what? You live in Southern California. Here's a great language for you. Why don't you take French? Because we don't want you to learn Spanish because you'll never use that in Southern California. Or Texas. I get real angry, but then I put on Nolan Taylor's 68. It makes me feel so much better, right? If you feel bad about your family, listen to 68 Nolan Taylor. You'll be like, it's like Jerry Springer. You're like, look, things are bad. Me and the missus, we're fighting right now, but she didn't just tell me she's transgender and in love with the babysitter, right? There was no Moria Povich where she was just like, you are not the father. None of that, right? So what? She don't suck your dick like she used to. You put a ring on it, you stop that shit. You were like, I like this so much, I'd like to put it into it. And the power of the rings combined. I know some of you girls are like, not me, I'm out there. I'm out here taking care of my man. Good. Good for you. See, there are women. You know what? We'll open up for all genders here. We're gender neutral and fluid here. Whatever gender. There are a large percentage of people in relationships that don't perform oral sex on their partner. And then there's a small minority, of people that do, and those are known as happy, committed, and loving relationships. It's tough out here on these streets. I'm joking with a lady online the other day, and I said, hey, you're kind of cute. You want to ruin my life and spend all my money, slide into my DMs. Ding, ding, ding. So we chat because I'm like, well, I have to see where this is going, right? I've lit the fuse. Let's just see if this thing blows up. Turns out, single mom. Hey, no problem. 2 kids. Okay, look, I'm not a first-round draft pick anymore. Okay, I'm like minor league guy who's hoping to get called up to the bigs one more time. Right? They're pulling me in the office at the start of the season. They're like, look, Castleman, you got a real chance of making this, okay? All you have to do is fundamentally change everything about you as a person, and then you might have a shot. And I'm sure if I were to marry someone that was in their mid to late 30s with no children, I mean, that's like needle haystack, right? That's like, I don't know, Beyonce working at Five Guys Burgers and Fries without her being Beyonce, and you're able to pull her. You're just like, oh my God, you got to see this fry chick. She banging. I think that's what the youth say, right? She banging. Be like, sure, that's a sexual harassment charge just for even saying that in the presence of women. But like, fuck, sorry, hashtag me too, hashtag sorry, not sorry, hashtag please don't cancel me, right? Been a rough go of it. Felt like I was going to get kicked in the dick. Double kicked. I was going to get shotgun kicked. It's going to be like that. It was just going to, I thought, 2 bad things were going to occur. My launch was going to bomb, which it didn't do as good as I wanted it to, but we pulled that bitch out, right? We flight 93'd it in reverse. They were like, it was a full dive. They're like, that's the ground, pull up. And we luckily did. And we landed the thing. We lost most of the passengers, okay? But we're safe. I mean, horrible, right? Death, destruction, all this stuff. But part of us made it just in time for HBO to grab the grab us a fresh from the wreckage and be like, do y'all want to make a movie about this? Sign your life rights away here. Then I thought, without getting into it, because I can't, because it's legal, I thought I was about to get the old rootin' tootin' right there, Fred. How you doing? With some financial shit. And it turns out that maybe, just maybe, in my brain, I've linked the fact that I've done some good in my life recently, that maybe that's why I didn't get bent over, no lube, all sandpapered. I didn't get like the writers of Sons of Anarchy who made himself a character on the show and then made him the character where he was getting raped every day. And I'm just like, hey, man, there's a lot better and faster ways to fulfill your fantasies than write a whole show about bikers. Do you guys remember how deep people were into that? Do you ever see an idiot wearing like a Sons of Anarchy patch thing? You guys remember when we were all wanted to be bikers for a little while and fucking hang out on our roofs with a little 3x5 notebook where we wrote letters to no one or our unborn children, right? We're bikers. Again, guys, bikers. People that, ride bikes, boom, boom, boom for a living, right? And not like MotoGP or anything like that, not like for money or anything like that. We just roll around on bikes. That's what we do, right? We sell drugs. But I've got some thoughts I'd like to capture about the inequality of man at the end of every ride when I'm not shooting my dad's hands up with steroids so that he can keep holding on to the iron and the vibrations don't shake him to his core. We watched that shit. Not only did we watch that shit, we anticipated it. Although I will say, I believe she was an FBI agent season 2, the most hated bitch in the world. When she, spoiler alert, it's only been 20 years. When she died and she got her comeuppance, I was like, fuck yeah. Going on the highway. Guys wearing fake fucking leathers out there, going and buying a chopper, drive around the block and be like, it's too big of a bike for me. Hell, at least they were able to. Shit, my mom put the fear out of me when I was a child. She was like, as long as I'm alive, you will never own a motorcycle. And I was like, I'm a grown-ass man. And then she looked at me and started reaching for the flip-flop, and I was like, oh, fuck, okay. You're not going to hit me like the time you did when you were quitting cigarettes, and I decided I wanted to learn to sing on the exact same day. I mean, you talk about just bad luck. I'm trying to Brian McAdams, Brandy, Escape, Tony Braxton. Oh, I was deep in the culture. Deep in that culture. Right? I'm trying to sound like Barry White over here, and my mom's going through nicotine withdrawals, and her little 12-year-old son with his pubescent voice probably going through it. Probably a couple strong dick roots hanging out there. I'm talking about I'm talking about if you had that much hair on your head, you'd be bald. But because it was on your balls, you were like, I'm a fucking man now. I'm 12. I've run this shit. Your mom's like, fucking help set the table for dinner. You're like, yes, ma'am. So I'm trying to fucking Brian McKnight. I'm trying to hit him with it. I'm trying to outcast. I'm trying Snow. I'm doing it all. I'm trying to put together a mixtape in my bedroom, song by song, when MTV played songs. And after about the third attempt on a chorus of a song I can't even remember because I blacked it out, my bedroom door opens and like a sniper, a fucking plastic flip-flop comes hurling in. And because it wasn't the size of an ape, I knew it was my mom's. And she was like, shut the fuck up. And I was like, love you too, Mom. Okay. I feel like, all right. In today's world, right, she'd have to attend fucking parental counseling and they'd take me away, and let me live with a family that loved their children, But back then you just dealt with it. You were just like, oh, okay, I can't ever be a singer in my life. I'm dog shit because my parents think I'm dog shit. Well, this dream dies. Thanks, Mom. I don't know why Tim spends all his time on the computer jacking off underneath his daybed. He doesn't think that we know, but we know. We moved that daybed the other day. It was like a sheet of ice underneath that motherfucker. You could have skated an NHL preseason game with no problem. Go and take the tape down the sides, Olympic-sized arena of just, shag carpet and cum. That's the only way I can say. It wasn't even shag carpet. Whatever that carpet was, it was, and then it really was. I mean, there are millions, hundreds of millions of my children still inside that duplex we rented in Spring Valley, California. They probably had to go down to the foundation and replace that shit. They probably were like, I don't know what this is. Is this cat piss? No, I don't know. Got some dude there who's fucking trying to impress the boss. Like, hold on, boss. Puts his finger to it. He's like, I don't know. I call over. Hey, come here, Jesse. Like, all right, untie your T-shirt here, Jesse, and come on down. Get on your knees. You're used to this, right? And he just smells it. Cum. Men's cum. Under 18, not allowed to talk about it anymore. And he just leaves the job site. And you're like, what? What happened there? Did we just lose Jesse? He was our best plant guy. What the fuck? And that's how my singing dream died right there. I just couldn't. How am I going to overcome centrifugal force and the fact that I can't carry a note to sing to save my life? And I'm taking shrapnel and fire day one. That's why I think I was secretly not allowed to be in band, because my parents were like, I'm not listening to that shit. Fuck you. You are not going to take away our peace. Do we smoke cigarettes inside the house? Yeah. Do we open the door? Fuck that. Does the duplex we're renting even have air conditioning? No. Do we have to pile into one giant room every summer with a window unit to keep us all, alive? Yeah, sure we did. What, you're telling me you didn't make memories like sleepover with your parents all summer? And all you can think back is like, when I get out of this room, I'm going to fuck the shit out of that carpet. I'm going to give it the best. I'm going to beat it like it owes me money. I'm going to give it the best dick in down. I'm going to rub a clean patch, and then I'm going to mess it up again. Noah Taylor, 68. Definitely worth listening to. So shit was bad. Now it's not so bad. But we got to keep the momentum going, right? We got a single. Hell, I'll even say we got a double. You know what? I'll say that we got a double with the last couple things that have gone my way. Can't rest. Can't stop. Don't want to stop. Got to continue going and I almost said blowing. Blowing and going. You can't say going and blowing, right? If you put it's the old Bill Burr joke, If you would just put the racial epithet before the word, you'd be fine, right? I was hanging out with this Asian motherfucker. You're like, okay. Then you're like, I was hanging out with this motherfucking Asian. Like, whoa, dude. That's Bill Burr bit. I'm not that smart. Cancel him, not me. Plus, there's like 3 of you that fucking listen to this podcast. So, gotta hope they don't take away my ability to pay money to host a platform and have a podcast edited that nobody listens to except for my one friend. And I think he's only listening because he's like, okay, are we going to have to send in the white coats this week? I don't know. Is Tim alive? Let's listen to the episode. What's going on with him? So, very excited with this momentum. And I figured the best way to have this momentum was have a pre-planned break that was already months in the making happen immediately after to stop and kill all momentum. I'm headed back to the land of the rising sun, the motherland, Havana, Cuba. You're like, my land of the rising? Just work with me, right? For 7 informative days, I'm headed back there. Was there in January. You guys know I did a 12-part expose where I broke down basically everything down to every bowel movement for you guys. Won't be doing that this time. Not taking my podcast gear even with me because I don't want to get arrested. Last time they were like, what are these microphones for? And I was like, Viva la Revolucion. And they were like, si, senor. And they didn't put me in prison. I'm not fucking with them this time. What I am taking, thanks to the generosity of my buddy Chase and can I pat myself on the back? Yes, because I can't suck my own D, right? We bought like $400 worth of supplies to take with us and hand out to people in need. In a perfect world, here's what I would like to have happen. And you're like, what are you taking them, Tim? What advanced technology or, are you taking like 3D printers and laser engravers over there? It's like, no, we're taking ibuprofen and allergy medication and maxi pads. Super sexy stuff, right? Where I'm like, hey, single lady, would you like some maxi pads? Here you go. Thank you. Oh, do you have allergies? I can help that, right? So we spent $400. I spent $400 buying it. Jay's going to reimburse me. Thank you. I vacuum sealed it, took everything out of its package, vacuum sealed it all to condense it down. Bam. And we got a good carry-on stuff to the brim. I mean, I'm literally having to sit on this thing. I'm actually going to probably upgrade to a bigger suitcase and just pay the checked bag fee and be fine with it, which is just okay with me. And, you know, I was really touched by the Cuban people when I saw them in January, how polite, how friendly they were. And, of course, we're tourists, and they're trying to put on their best face, which I appreciate that. But you can tell that it is a country that is struggling. And I'm not about to get into the political reasons. I don't know the political reasons. I don't care to invest them, right? I'm not trying to fix a country, right? I'm trying to help a few people out in some minor way to help improve their life just a little bit. If they're not having to spend $5 for a thing of aspirin, which you're like, well, Tim, what's the big deal with that? Well, if you look at what the average Cuban salary is, $5, it's $5. That's a lot of money to them. You're like, well, I blow that more on a coffee. Yes, you do. And that's great for you. These people need supplies. And I can't save them all or a majority of them or even enough to probably not still hate myself for not doing more this trip. But I can help a few people. We got some cool stuff, right? We got some stuff for the kids, got some stuff for schools, got some stuff for the ladies, right? Gonna have some stuff for the mamas. Hopefully, I got a little last minute shopping to do. I got inspired tonight, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go do all of that. Great. And then again, in a perfect world, what I would like to do is I'd like to pick a day, probably the Saturday, when kids are going to be out of school and all that good stuff. I believe Saturday they are. I'll double check. It's Cuba. We'll find out. Then go find a neighborhood that needs it the most and either spend the day in that neighborhood or just spend a few hours. Probably just spend a few hours. What am I talking about? I'm not coming here delivering a truckload of turkeys, right? But it's probably going to be just a few minutes how quickly this stuff is going to go, and that's fine. But spend some time there and give it out to people who can use it, who need it, and do our part. You know, not a religious guy, but I do like to help out those in need. But I also like to make sure they're the ones that are actually getting it and not some agency. So there's not an agency in Cuba that's just like, bring us all the shit, we'll distribute it, right? And there are places that you could buy stuff and send it over, but the markup on that is huge. For instance, if you want, I just looked at this right now, if you wanted to get this thing, it's fortified milk, okay? It's 56 ounces. If you wanted that shipped to Cuba, it's $62 American, okay? And the most they can have is 10. $62. You go and you look at the same thing on Target, it is a whopping $19. Let me just double check. Sorry. $21.49. Same exact. I'm looking at them. They're identical. So you got a $40 markup to get that product from wherever it is over to Cuba. Or I can pay a couple extra bucks for a suitcase allowance and put it all in there and maybe take 4 of those. So for the cost of, 3 of them, I can get close to 4. No, I can't. You can get 3. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is a lot, because I'm delivering it direct, it goes a lot further, hopefully. And I have just felt compelled ever since I visited the first time to return. And when I did, I thought it would be foolish of me not to take care of this and, bring something. I mean, just like, it didn't even occur to me to go there and not bring something. It was just like, oh yeah, that's definitely going to happen. So I'm excited to go over there. I'm going to try and capture some video of the trip. I have my reasons for that I will share at a later date. But I just want to capture some video, try the whole travel experience and see, right? If Eric, the editor, is going to quit when I drop all this video stuff on him, or he's going to be like, okay, all right, we can do this. He recorded 500 hours of content and he wants a 1-minute video. Oh, okay, sure. So very excited about going there, taking my buddy Chase with me. He's obviously never been, so I'm excited for him to get a chance to explore and see what Cuba has to offer for him and his experience and his thoughts there. and just to be among the people, and to get away for a little bit, get a little sun, get away from the computer, help some people out, catch my breath, and then come back and start kicking ass and taking names, because the summer of secrets is going to be on us before we know it. I finished reading my required reading for Dan Kennedy's program. Now I am at the dissertation part. So that's fun because I haven't done that in quite some time. So it's good to flex that muscle. Did I mention, by the way, my internet completely went out for 2 days, and I thought about killing myself on at least 3 times a day. I was like, is this what it was like before the internet? I don't want to go back to the darkness. Don't take the darkness away from me, please. Please, right? So, things are all good. Like, I'm okay with where things are right now. Not as dark as they have been in the past. I feel like I'm coming alive and alert. Really trying, really fucking hard to keep Business Tim around for some time before Screw Off Tim comes around again, right? And I've got some real big projects that I want to continue working on and doing what we need to do. The hardest thing I think I'm having to accept right now is just me and my limitations, right? So I finished reading this thing ahead of time. I was supposed to not finish it until, tomorrow. So I finished a few days early, right? So, of course, I squandered a few days there. And then I was like, well, I'll make up for it by doing it every day. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason why I don't have a podcast daily. There's a reason why I think I'd be the worst interview ever. Like, all right, Tim, so what were you thinking? I was like, look, man, you got some work you need to get done. I'll come in and get it done. I'm not doing 8 a.m., and if I'm going to work really hard on a Monday, I'm going to need that recovery day on Tuesday. And they're like, what the fuck are you? This is a warehouse job. Like, sir, yeah, this is a Wendy's. I'm like, oh, okay. So we're on an upswing, trying to find the groove, trying to also not just whitewash everything and go, oh, you know what? Hey, I've never been a guy that's been, not never. It's been a long time since I've had to do the daily grind of a job, just being honest, as far as working for someone else. And I'm not someone that does something every day, right? Build up burst of energy, expend energy, relax, burst of energy. Now, when I have those bursts of energies, great things happen. And when I employ other people to help my dreams become a reality, he says in his Jurassic Park voice, things are good. Shit gets done. A to B sort of thing. But when I forget that, think that I'm going to become Mr. Productivity instantly, without fail, and zero grace when you do, and I'm going to go back to a one-man wrecking crew in terms of, I'm going to get everything done here, blah, 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 blah. No. And I have to keep telling myself no a lot lately. I'm having to be a real fucking adult lately, and it sucks. Artist Tim came way back this weekend, right? I'm watching chess videos. Don't worry, not trying to play chess, right? I'm watching drawing videos, right? I'm like, oh, am I going to become the next Picasso, but in a really lame and fast way? Oh, okay, maybe I'll do that. But I'm telling that guy, hey, great idea. We're going to write it down in this little book right here of ideas. And then maybe after the Summer of Secrets, and maybe towards the end of this year, Artist Tim can come out. He can flourish. He can be fun. Right? Or maybe Artist Tim only comes out on Sundays, because that's the day when we've just decided no mas, no work, which we weren't really. The thing is, I'm plugged in all the time. Where I'm recording this podcast is where I spend 99% of my life, and I'm talking sun up, sun down. There are days when I probably move less than 500 steps the whole day. I come here, I sit down, I do work, watch YouTube, get lost in the sauce, do whatever it is, blah, 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 blah. I look up, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's time to stop by the PlayStation, Xbox man, actually. Murder a few people so I can get my heart rate pumping and get that blood going, right? Well, if they have those treadmills that have the big screens on them and stuff like that. Why can't you just be like, oh yeah, I watch video games too. I don't walk on a treadmill, but I sure walk these fingers, and they get to clack, 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 taking down whole herds of people. Man, just crazy. Life's pretty fucking crazy. Think you got some shit figured out, and wham, it hits you. You get a little momentum. Now it's like, okay, great. What's the next thing? You know what? I'm happy to report I'm not tired. Like, there was a time in my career where I think I was just really unhappy, and it was just like everything was pulling teeth to get done. And that's no fun to work with, and that's no fun to be that guy. So the good news is I don't feel overwhelmed. I don't feel tired. It's just like, okay, we got to sit down. We got to plot some shit. We got to, look at a calendar, consult the TPS report. I'm kidding. We're keeping this small. I will never be ClickFunnels. No disrespect to them. I actually thought about it the other day. I'd go work for Russell for like a year or two to see inside of ClickFunnels, as long as I could see the inside of it and be like, oh, let me learn some shit. So when I get out of here, I can better myself. But I'm not trying to become a big company like that. Where we're at right now is probably too many cooks, or too many. Yeah, I get too many people probably right now, honestly. But I'm trying to build this thing up for more, and I want these people in place when we do that. Hopefully they want to be in place too. But I, as the Chief Vision Officer, which is just a title I pulled directly out of my anal cavity, as the Chief Vision Officer, I have to provide that chief vision so that our consultants and independent contractors can go out and execute the mission. One team, under all. I don't know where I was going with that. And if the shit doesn't work out, that's okay. That's okay. I'm making my inroads in Cuba, right? Trying to meet me a little senorita over there. No, I'm not. All right? I'll go work on a fishing boat like the Born I did. I don't know. Go over there and let the buzzards pick at my eyes like I'm Al Bundy after his wife bowled a perfect game. If you get the reference, you're my people. I hear smoking's bad for you, but it feels so damn good. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm in a good place. I'm walking that straight line, sort of, BJ Barham. Not photographing a lot lately, and that's frustrating. Kind of a weird place with it. Honestly, charging money for it sucks. I don't like doing it. I want to do it because I feel like I got to be respected, but, people, if nothing else, it gets my name out there and they know what I charge. How about that, Tim? How's that sound? Yeah. Thankfully, I'm not trying to make a living off of this. Because if I was, I would be Skinny Tim. There would be a GoFundMe to help me save my kidneys, because I'd be so skinny and beholden to others, and I'd have to keep my mouth shut, or they would say you're fucking fired and we don't like you because you have an opinion, and we're artists and we can't be told to shut up and sing, but you're not us. You didn't get Chat GPT to write our songs for us like we did. You're not us. You're not a performer like me. I mean, I don't write my songs. That'd be too tough. Who has time to do that? Who would dare to write and sing and perform their own music? Wouldn't that be crazy? What a thought. Some people used to do it. Now it's too tough for them. I don't like writing my own songs. I like singing the thoughts of other people. What's wrong with that? I like to talk about the Beatles, and I like to talk about the Stones, and I like to talk about Austin turning into L.A. I don't know. I don't know people who don't. I know a lot of people do. I'm saying you can never be like, I don't know how to write the songs, but we're not curing cancer here, kids, okay? Neither one of us, me or you. Yeah, it's really has to be tough. I get it. It's tough for all of us. We're coming, Cuba. We're coming. We're coming with instant non-fat dry milk, which I just found, and I'm going to buy out every store of it tomorrow. We're coming with formula, hopefully. If I can check the regulations and make sure that I'm not going to cause an quote-unquote international incident with the white powder that I'm going to bring in a Ziploc bag and be like, no, it's milk. Look, you just put it to your nose. And just watch them be like, oh, my God. That would be hilarious. And if we spoke the same language, I could at least ask them to stop kicking my face, and they might stop. But this time I'm just like, you know what? I think maybe I just won't do that. How about we don't do that? Well, okay. All right. So that's what we're doing, fam. We're going to go over, learn more about the Cuban people, what's currently going on with them, hopefully make some people's days a little easier and a little brighter temporarily, I know. We got some baseballs. I'm super pumped about that. I got like 12 baseballs. We're going to go find some kids that are using rocks and palm leaves, wrapped together, and we're going to throw them some baseballs. I'm going to throw them a heater, right? And the whole thing is this. Look, if you can hit my 42-mile-an-hour fastball, you can keep the ball. But I'm headhunting. Little 4-year-old kid. I don't give a shit out of a helmet. Don't have it? Well, talk to the next caravan. Because I'm headhunting. I'm coming to take revenge. Bay of Pigs, I'm here for it. You laugh at our president? Oh, no. This is America's sleeper cell idea. They have awoken a 43-year-old single man that's going to show up with a, what the hell do you want to call that? Luggage, right? Show up with luggage. By the way, this is all parody, right? Mr. and Mrs. Castro, or whoever's in charge right now, if you're listening to this at a customs agent or this is being played at some type of immigration hearing, this is all a joke, okay? These are to make us laugh on both sides of the equator. That'll melt some fucking brains right there. Oh, I can't wait to see the comments for that. Can't wait. Super excited. When I get back, I'll do one mega episode, 2 at the most, where we talk about it. Going to try and capture some video for you guys. Look, I need some of y'all to like, subscribe, leave a review. I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm having nervous breakdowns in real time and capturing it for you. So if they decide not to play my manifesto at some point, they'll point back to this. But like, he seemed like a troubled young man. He was quiet and he kept to himself. He was radicalized by the Cuban government and their need for powdered milk. When he brought supplies the second time, they knew they had him. He would go on to become a trained assassin for the Cuban government. Unfortunately, he's not very consistent in his work ethic or time management. Every job he was given, he showed up late to and did the bare minimum just to get by. One time, we had to deploy another hitman to finish the job because, and I quote, I ran out of bullets and shit from our first assassin. No names, of course, but you know who we're talking about. It's me. Like 00 Bond, 007, like more like triple XL. That'd be my name, right? Denzel's got the Equalizer. You got 007. You got Punisher, Max Payne, and hey, there's triple XL over there. Hey, that guy's getting away. Why'd you shoot him in the back? Because look at me. Did you want to treat this guy for a flesh wound, or did you want to deal with my heart attack and expiring 3 feet from my squad car? Think about it. I'll be over at the diner. I'll be this angry fucking cop and bitter for no reason. Have photos of some random woman in my cubicle. Like, Tim, who's her? Don't ask me about her. Don't ever ask me about Margaret again. She was the light of my world. And when she tragically died, more like when they killed her, I knew vengeance was the only thing that would make me whole. Like, sir, still a Wendy's. Still a Wendy's here. Y'all be good. I'll see you real soon, as long as I'm out of boot camp for the Cuban government.